Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're jumping into something really fascinating from the world of game theory and AI. And it's a super counterintuitive idea. What if, to find stability in a really chaotic system, you actually have to make things a little bit worse first? So let's kick things off with a puzzle. Picture this. You've got a bunch of self-interested AIs, right? They're all trying to get the best possible outcome for themselves. The question is, how on earth do you get them to land on a stable agreement when every single move one of them makes just causes everyone else to completely rethink their strategy? This is really the heart of the problem in what researchers call multi-agent systems. You can just think of it like this super complex negotiation where what happens to you depends entirely on what everybody else does. Let's break that down. Imagine one AI makes a move to get a better reward. Well, that one little change sends ripples through the whole system. Now, all the other AIs have to reevaluate their best moves, which, you guessed it, prompts even more changes. It becomes this never-ending chase, a constantly moving target that nobody can ever quite hit. So obviously, the goal here is to stop this endless chase, right? To find some kind of stable outcome. And in the world of game theory, there's a very specific name for that perfect point of balance. And that goal is called the Nash equilibrium. It's that sweet spot where every single player is making their best possible move given what all the other players are doing. Nobody has any reason to change what they're doing on their own. It's like the whole system can finally just take a breath. Okay, so how do we get to that equilibrium? Well, let's look at the most obvious, the most intuitive approach first. It's something called best response. Now, the idea behind this seems totally logical, right? At every single turn, each AI just looks at what's happening and picks the move that's best for it. Simple, rational, self-interested. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Turns out, a lot can go wrong. Just think about a game as simple as rock, paper, scissors. If everybody is only ever playing their best response, they get completely stuck in an endless loop. Player A plays rock, so player B's best response is paper. But now player A's best response is scissors, and then B's is rock. And you see, it just goes on and on forever. Nobody ever settles. And that's the trap. This super logical, common sense strategy, just always do what's best for you right now, it often just fails. The AIs get caught in this loop, chasing stability but never, ever actually reaching it. So the big question is, how do you break that cycle? Well, this is where the research gets really interesting. They introduce this brand new concept to get out of the trap, and it's called a satisficing path. All right, let's break this down. The rule is actually pretty simple. If you're already making the best possible move you can, given what everyone else is doing, well, you're considered satisfied, and you just stay put. You don't change a thing. But if you're not making a best response, you're unsatisfied. And this is the twist. If you're unsatisfied, you are suddenly free to try any other strategy, even a worse one. And you can really see the difference here. In that old best response model, an unsatisfied player had to pick a better move. But with satisficing, they're totally unleashed. They can explore, they can experiment, they can even make a move that makes things temporarily worse for them. And that freedom, that's the whole key. And it's this exact freedom that leads to the paper's biggest reveal, a truly shocking, totally counterintuitive solution to getting stuck in those endless loops. I mean, listen to this quote. The paper says that these reward deteriorating strategic updates, in other words, making moves that make things worse for you, they're the key to finding equilibrium. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's actually a necessary step. And this isn't just some theory they cooked up. They proved it. Mathematically, they showed that for any finite game, a satisficing path to that stable Nash equilibrium always exists, 100% of the time. It doesn't matter how complex the game is, there is always a way out of the chaos using this method. So how does this actually work in practice? Okay, the logic is kinda wild. First, you figure out who all the unsatisfied players are. Then, and get this, you have them change their strategies in a way that intentionally makes more players unsatisfied. You literally keep doing this until the group of unhappy players can't get any bigger. It's like taking a snow globe and shaking it as hard as you possibly can. And it's from that moment of maximum chaos that a path to stability suddenly appears, and everything can finally settle down. So yeah, as you can see, the whole idea is that you're not trying to make everyone happy right away. It's the opposite. You strategically ramp up the chaos. By making more and more agents unsatisfied, you shake the system up so much that it finally breaks free from those old, repeating loops and finds a whole new way forward. Okay, so why does any of this matter? What's the big takeaway for the real world? Well, this is not just some abstract game theory exercise. It has huge implications for how we actually build smarter and more cooperative AI systems. What these findings do is give us a whole new playbook for designing what are called moral algorithms. That's multi-agent reinforcement learning. It basically suggests we can build systems where if an AI is satisfied, it can just chill out. It stops updating. But even more important, we can actually program our AIs to sometimes make a bad move on purpose just to break out of a dead end, or to just explore randomly. And the result could be AI systems that are way more robust and way more cooperative. And that really leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought, doesn't it? For so long, we've tried to build AI to be perfectly rational, to always be improving. But maybe, just maybe, the real secret to building truly cooperative AI, the kind that can find stability on its own, is to let it embrace a little bit of strategic chaos.